Hello. We are going to close out the Derby Trail and Triple Crown season with the Delaware Derby. Yes, what better way to close out the season than making YouTube videos? And let's talk about what my double for this race would be. But first, I wanted to go over the structure of my doubles, because it's been my main bet for a while now. And I just want to go over the structure. I know this is not for wizards out there who already know what they're doing, and it's not for everyone. I don't think there's one right way to bet. I think you have to do what works for you. And I'm just going to give the information of how I structure doubles, and maybe someone out there will find that helpful and they can use that information for their own wagering. Well, I like to have a key horse in the first leg of the double, as you can see here with my Wonder Again Acorn Stakes double. I wanted to keep Fitz Right. She was surprisingly 3-1. And why did I want to keep Fitz Right? Well, then I could make a win bet on her, and in case my choices in the Acorn Stakes don't work out, the win bet will theoretically cover the doubles in case the second leg loses. Now, some bettors might say that making a win bet is a waste of money, and you can take that money for the win bet and make the doubles amounts larger and maybe win more money. But the win bet has covered me over the years whenever the second leg has failed, and that works for me, so I keep using a win bet. I like to have a key horse so that I can make a win bet on that horse and cover the doubles tickets in case the second leg loses. What's the logic behind using Counting Stars and Prom Queen in the Acorn Stakes? And I actually had meaning as well. I added meaning, which means I had 3 options in the Acorn, and that was a mistake. My original idea of Counting Stars and Prom Queen was just fine. What was the logic behind using them? I didn't think that Always a Runner, the 4-5 favorite, was that much better than Counting Stars, Prom Queen, Meaning. Always a Runner won the Kentucky Oaks, but she didn't dominate the race, and her final margin over Meaning wasn't that big. I didn't think she was that much better. And Counting Stars was coming at the end. You had to watch it carefully, but Counting Stars, once she was clear in the Kentucky Oaks, she started to move forward. And Prom Queen had a terrible trip in that race. I didn't think that Always a Runner was that much better. I think you had to go 2 ways if you were going to keep Fitz Right. Either go Fitz Right and Always a Runner and have that be a straight double, no other fillies. Or you could go Fitz Right with the alternatives, Counting Stars, Prom Queen, or even Meaning. I don't think it makes sense to go Fitz Right with Always a Runner and then have Counting Stars and Prom Queen and Meaning in a ticket as well. This is a double, so you have to keep it somewhat simple, because it's not going to pay as much as a pick 3 or a pick 4 or a pick 5. You have to be simple and confident in your opinions when you're making a double. So either it has to be Fitz Right and the favorite, or Fitz Right and the alternatives. And I didn't think that Always a Runner was that much better, so I went with Fitz Right with the alternatives. Let's skip ahead to the results of the Acorn Stakes, and we have it up here. You can see that Counting Stars blew by Always a Runner in the stretch run, and she paid $11.44 to win, and more importantly, the double paid $28.02. The Fitz Right Counting Stars double paid $28. That might not seem like a lot. However, you don't have to spend the minimum. You can play for more money. I'm not saying to take out your life savings to play on doubles tickets, but you can play for more money, and not that much more than the minimum will get you a decent amount. For example, if you played that ticket for $10, it would be $280. If you played that ticket for $20, it would be, I have to do the math in my head, $560, and so on. So you don't have to break out your life savings to make a decent amount when you're playing the double. Even just $10, $20, $30 will get you a decent amount, considering the odds of the horses who won. Fitz Right was only 3-1, and you can see here that Counting Stars, she was what? Is that 9-2? So $28 might not seem like a lot, but you can turn it into a lot if you have a confident opinion. And again, this is why it's important to keep the doubles ticket simple and not add so many horses, because you can spend more money on the doubles tickets if you keep it, limited to a key horse and maybe 2 or 3 horses in the next leg. Let's move on to a doubles bet that was not successful, the Mile and Belmont Stakes double, and we have it up here. Forget the part that says Civil Liberty to win in the Woody Stevens Stakes. I think I was riding high after winning the Wonder Again Acorn Stakes double, and there was extra money in my account, and I think I just wanted to take a shot on a long shot, and it didn't work out. But anyways, in the Mile and Belmont Stakes double, I had Nisos keyed to Chief Wallaby and Growth Equity, and I had a win bet on Nisos as well. Nisos was only 7-5. That just meant I had to keep it simple when it came to the Belmont Stakes, and I couldn't add a third horse. It wouldn't make sense because it wouldn't cover the ticket if I did. I had to keep it to Growth Equity, Chief Wallaby. Those were my choices, and I was not going to add a third horse. Now, why would I accept Nisos at 7-5? Isn't that too low? No, not every 7-5 shot is the same. Not every even money shot is the same. In this case, Nisos, in my mind, was a brilliant miler, and I loved his effort in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. In fact, I thought his Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile was one of the best races on the card. And then in the Belmont Stakes, I wasn't as sure. I was taking shots with Chief Wallaby and Growth Equity. It was a hard race for many handicappers. And I thought Growth Equity had a good Peter Pan Stakes. I thought Chief Wallaby had some trouble, which everyone saw, in the Kentucky Derby. And I took a shot on those 2 horses in this ticket. But I had a win bet on Nisos. I knew Nisos would win. I know that sounds overconfident, but I knew Nisos would win, and that if the second leg didn't hit, the win bet I had on him would cover the ticket. We see in the Met Mile that Nisos dominated the race by 4 lengths, and he paid $4.94 to win. Again, I'm relying on the win bet to cover the bet, or cover the doubles tickets in case the second leg loses. And that win bet I had on Nisos was just enough to cover what happened in the next race, because I lost the next race in the Belmont Stakes, as we saw. Golden Temple won the Belmont Stakes. I will say Chief Wallaby had the lead at the top of the stretch, and Growth Equity was right there. And I don't know, I think on a fair track that didn't have an outside bias, maybe it would be closer at the end. But it is what it is. I lost the Belmont Stakes. And I wasn't mad because I had Nisos to cover the ticket. I had that win bet on Nisos that had enough on it to where it would cover the lost bets and the doubles tickets. With that in mind, I wasn't mad at all. I mean, I took a free shot at it basically. And it didn't work out for the doubles tickets. But I had that win bet on Nisos. And that was fine. Let's talk about the Delaware Derby Delaware Oaks double. Who do I want to key in the Delaware Derby? It's not Litmus Test. Let's explain why. Litmus Test is 3-2 on the morning line. He's trained by Bob Baffert. And he keeps losing. As we saw in the Rebel Stakes, he lost by 5 1/4 lengths. He was 3rd in that race. And in the Arkansas Derby, he was even worse, 7th by 12 lengths. And then in the Kentucky Derby, he was 17th. I didn't expect him to do well in the Kentucky Derby. That's a toss-out. But those races earlier in the year in the Rebel and the Arkansas Derby weren't that great. And I don't trust him. I don't trust the horses that he beat in the Los Alamitos Futurity. And the horses that he ran against in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, they haven't panned out. Well, most of them are injured, actually. I still don't trust those horses. Litmus Test is 3-2. I suppose he could win this race. He's not for me at all. I prefer number 6, Big Cuddle. He's 3-1 on the morning line, and he comes off a nice win in the Sir Barton Stakes at Laurel Park, which we're going to watch right now. The horse on the lead in the video is Final Story, and I think Final Story is a nice horse. He got the lead here in 48.64, and the rider was always riding him like he was going to win. Final Story is trained by Brad Cox. He has nice breeding, and I think he has a nice future. But in this race, he had Big Cuddle ranging up next to him, and he had to deal with that horse in the stretch run. Again, the rider on Final Story is still riding him like he's going to win, and he probably didn't expect Big Cuddle to range up right alongside him. I like the way that both horses separate from the field. Now the whip is out on Final Story, but Big Cuddle is too much for him. And look at that separation to the third place horse. Both of them ran a nice race, but Big Cuddle, he gets the credit from me because he had to overcome the pace. Final Story had all the benefit of the 24 and 48 fractions, and the -9 and -10 on Breeze shows that it was a slow pace. Big Cuddle still ran him down, and I'm going to give him credit for that. Big Cuddle is my choice in this race. I think he has a bright future, and this is a mile 1/16, the same distance as the Sir Barton, so I don't think the distance will be a problem here. He's my choice in this race. He has tactical speed. I expect him to be right up there, maybe 1, 2, or 3 lengths off the pace. My second choice in this race would be Ponder and Dream. I still want to key Big Cuddle. He's still my key in the double. However, if someone is doing a trifecta or exacta, maybe Ponder and Dream would be a horse to consider underneath. Or even if you're doing an exacta box, I think you would have to consider Ponder and Dream. Ponder and Dream won at Parks in his most recent start. It might have been the stretch out to 1 mile that helped him improve. We're going to watch the race. Ponder and Dream is being chased by Drumroll Please. That name might sound familiar. Drumroll Please was thought of maybe as a possible stakes horse at one point, but now he mainly toils in claiming races and starter allowances and state-bred races at Parks. This is a state-bred race, which means that I don't know who Ponder and Dream beat in this race because, yes, Drumroll Please is a name that sounds familiar, but I don't know if he's that good. I still want to rank him second in this race. I don't want to key him in a double or include him in a double, but I will rank him second, and if by some chance I did make an exacta, he would be underneath. I also want to mention Sovereign Law, who was a closing second in the May 2 race, the optional claimer at Churchill Downs. And I thought it was a decent effort, but when I watched the race, it felt like the whole field was clustered together at the end, or there were a bunch of horses that were clustered together at the end, and it looked like a turf race at the end with all those horses near each other. That's one reason why I have some doubts about the race, but he did earn a 92, and that 92 is not that far off the 95 by Big Cuddle in the Sir Barton Stakes. I would rank Sovereign Law third in this race. And for the fourth place ranking, I guess I'll give it to Out of the Woods, who actually beat Sovereign Law in that same optional claimer at Churchill Downs. I don't know if the pace scenario is right for him in this race. I would think that Litmus Test would be right on him from the start, and maybe Out of the Woods will feel that pressure and fade at the end. I still want to rank him in my top 4. He'll be the last one that I mention. Again though, Big Cuddle is my key in a double. I just wanted to point out some underneath options for other bettors out there who are playing an exacta or trifecta. I'm going to key Big Cuddle though. Let's talk about the Delaware Oaks. In the Delaware Oaks, the morning line has Love Your Neighbor as the favorite and 2-1. I don't know if I agree with this. Maybe Love Your Neighbor will be the second choice. Or if she's the favorite, I don't think it'll be by much over Sneaky Good, who is 5-1 on the morning line. Why would I think Sneaky Good is the favorite? Well, she has Brad Cox training, and people bet Brad Cox blindly. And Irad Ortiz is on board. Of course, people will want to bet Irad Ortiz. And this filly finished third in the Honeybee Stakes against some known horses in Explora and Counting Stars, who I just talked about earlier. She won the Acorn Stakes. Explora also won a stakes race at Churchill Downs recently. I can't think of the stakes race name off the top of my head. Maybe the Leslie's Lady. I'm not sure. But Sneaky Good ran third behind some good horses, and I want to watch that clip for a second because in this race, I thought that Sneaky Good, she's the one with the white blaze in between horses, I thought that she lost ground at the end. And it made me ponder whether or not she wants to go a mile 1/16th, because she was losing ground at the end. She had enough clearance right there and she was losing ground, but she was facing good horses. Again, Counting Stars is the Acorn Stakes winner. I understand that. I still don't want Sneaky Good as the favorite. I'm going to assume that she is the favorite. If she runs in this race, she's cross-entered in another race at Churchill Downs. But from what I hear, Irad Ortiz will be at Delaware. I don't want Sneaky Good as the favorite. And let's talk about who I'm going to pick instead. I want to take the two horses who were pace compromised in the Kentucky Oaks. Dazzling Dame, she showed speed in that race, and then she got tired at the end in the Kentucky Oaks and finished 8th by 9 1/4 lengths. That's fine. Earlier in the year, she won the Busanda by 11 lengths, and then she was second in the Virginia Oaks. I think now that she's been through the Kentucky Oaks, maybe that's toughened her up. She's 5-1 on the morning line, and I will include her in my tickets. The other filly that I want on my ticket, or my tickets, is number 2, Pashmina. She's 3-1 on the morning line. I'm not sure if she will be 3-1. I think that could float up. But she was 11th in the Kentucky Oaks after showing speed. You can see that she was 3rd after a half mile. And I could cross that out. I think that the pace scenario was difficult for Pashmina and Dazzling Dame. You can see the 46 half, and under 1C and 2C, it says +10 and +9. She was tired at the end. I don't think the distance is a problem though. You see that in the Gazelle Stakes, she only lost to Always a Runner by 1.25 lengths, and that was a mile 1/8. This is a mile 1/16. I think that distance is fine. And I think if she gets a good trip stalking the lead or even setting the pace, she might be hard to beat. The third filly that I'm still thinking about is Jumping the Gun. I don't know if there's room for her on my ticket. I want to think about her some more. She's 8-1 on the morning line, and she comes off a second place finish in the Black Eyed Susan Stakes to a good filly in My Miss Mo. Remember, My Miss Mo was the filly who finished second to Prom Queen in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. Earlier in the year, or last year, Jumping the Gun was also second to Dazzling Dame in a stakes race on this course. Jumping the Gun, if she gets a good trip, I wouldn't doubt that she could win. In the Black Eyed Susan, she had a wide trip, and she was also wide in the Weber City Miss. As you can see here, it says bore out start, wide. I will have to think about whether or not I can fit her. Again, when you're making doubles tickets, you want to keep it simple. Jumping the Gun would be my third option. To summarize all this up, I want to have Big Cuddle as my key in the Delaware Derby Delaware Oaks double, but I want to have a win bet on him as well. As I laid out in the part where I structure my doubles, I always have a win bet on the key horse. So I'll have a win bet on Big Cuddle, and I'll have Big Cuddle keyed to Pashmina, Dazzling Dame, and possibly Jumping the Gun in the Delaware Derby Delaware Oaks double. And those are my tickets for these two races. And I hope the first part of this video, where I laid out how I structure my doubles and my strategy behind them, is helpful to someone. Again, there's no one right way to bet. I think you have to do what works for you. I can only say what works for me. And this strategy of having a win bet and a double where I key a horse to 2 horses or 3 horses in the second leg has worked for me this year. I do want to go on vacation from making these videos. Maybe I'll pop up on Travers Stakes week. Thanks for watching this video. Good luck with your bets this weekend. And see you later in the year. I'll still be on Twitter.